Huber in the morning on 100.7 The Bay.
Morning, Miles. Good morning, N-Dub.
Morning.
I think it's time for the radio sensation sweep in the nation, that is.
It's Huber in the mornings on this day on 100.7 The Bay.
That's right. It is time for On This Day. We're going to take a deep dive into December 14th throughout the annals of history. We're going to listen to clips. We're going to ice skate down memory lane, all in a segment we like to call On This Day. You can play along. 410-584-1007, 410-584-1007. So, as you could hear there for a second, I got a little distracted. You know why?
Why?
Look at your sheet.
I know.
Look at your sheet, N-Dub.
Well, so the problem is
You.
I mean, in many, many ways. We decided on a story and we didn't know how to handle it. So I didn't have all of the prep ready and I started copying and pasting things and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's my fault.
So I have clip number 1, Summer Breeze, and then a paragraph about the subject of clip number 2. But then clip number 2 also says Summer Breeze. So what am I doing first? Am I doing Summer Breeze
Let's do
first?
the movie first. That was what I wanted to do. It's your fault. If you wouldn't have picked the more controversial topic, I would have had that thing. We would have talked about Saturday Night Fever. But no, Daddy had to have his story.
I'm looking for the drop. You're lucky I don't know where it is.
That's good. I'm so glad that you only look at that stuff once every 6 months.
You don't even know where it is.
I'm pretty sure it says Wheel of Torture.
I know, but what page is it on? That's the problem.
I think it just says Wheel of Torture. Isn't there one made just for the wheel?
No. Oh, right here.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh. Okay.
That's fine. We got nothing to do next week anyway. Just say you want to give me the wheel, you coward.
All right, here we go. We are going to talk about not Summer Breeze. We're going to talk about the jerk. Well, what's happening now? There we go. Oh, I got to do that over again.
In the history of motion pictures, only a select few performers have become immortalized by the roles they have portrayed. Consider the Vamp, the Champ, the Tramp, and now the most perfect casting of all, Steve Martin, the Jerk.
It was never easy for me.
Meet Navin Johnson.
This is the kind of music that tells me to go out there and free somebody.
But Navin,
Let him go.
Traveling down that lonely road.
Navin Johnson and His Special Purpose. I love this film. I really do love The Jerk. I am a Steve Martin just junkie. And this was fantastic. He hates these cans. I mean, there's a million quotable lines from this flick. And, it's not necessarily on the political correctness scale the way you'd probably want it to be these days, but it was a different time, man.
So where would you say this is on Martin's, I guess, fame level, or timeline? Is this early in his career, middle of his career?
So this is like he's selling out in arenas as a stand-up already.
Okay.
And a lot of the jokes in this movie are like taken from the bits from his stand-up career. Like one of my favorite parts of the movie is he's laying in bed with Bernadette Peters, who's his girlfriend at the time, and he's saying like, I know we've only been together for 10 days, but it feels like it's been 3 months because the first day felt like 6 days. And the second day, I got to see you all day, and that felt like 10 days. Then the third day, I didn't get to see you at all, and that felt like -2 days. And he does this bit for like 5 minutes to the point where it's like funny, and then you go, oh my God, is he still doing this? And then it comes all the way back around to funny again. Like, but that's part of his stand-up act too, like just over-explaining something to the point where it drives you nuts, and then you come back to laughing about it again. It's kind of like our life.
Yeah. So,
but I love everything about it, man. I mean, when he looks and finds his name in the phone book and screams, "I'm somebody." I mean, there's just so many. The dog saves his dog saves an apartment complex that's on fire, and then he has to tell the name of the dog, and it's like head, and people are texting in now like the jerk made me wish pizza in a cup was a real thing, because he's like walking through some carnival. He's like, oh, this pizza in a cup's way better than the pizza in a cup at the other carnival and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. I love the movie. I do.
So is this top tier Steve Martin movie? Is this
for me? It is.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it is.
It's not cheaper by the dozen.
So I love him, and I've watched some documentaries about him and stuff like that, and some people interviewed talking about him. And John Cleese, who was in Monty Python, I don't know if you know him, he is interviewed talking about Steve Martin one day, and he goes, Steve Martin has made some amazing movies, and then Steve Martin has made some other movies. And then he stops and he goes, Steve Martin has one of the most impressive art collections in the entire world. Basically leading you to believe that some of the movies he does is just to buy whatever painting he wants at the time, because he is a very big art collector. But yeah, I mean, I guess some things he does that he writes and is really into, and then some things like cheaper by the dozen, it's just a cash grab to buy whatever Monet he wants or whatever. So, but no, man, this to me is like the culmination of all his comedic work in the 70s, kind of, puts it in a time capsule in film form, because a lot of those bits were kind of from his stand-up routine. I love him, though. You know what I love about him, too? Gray hair since he's like 20-something.
Yeah.
Just owned it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just saw him at the Lyric a couple of weeks ago, and he's got to be 80 or 70-something, and looks the same, because he's looked old since he was young. It's a good move. It's like I was fat in high school, so like if I go back to the high school reunion and I'm still fat, nobody's like, oh, he got really fat. He's like, he looks exactly the same. He looks great.
I remember Hubert.
It's a long play. You got to really plan for that stuff.
We call it the long con.
Right. But when it works out, it's pretty good. So, kids, if you're listening, be fat now. Then you'll have nothing to worry about at your high school reunion. One to grow on from old Uncle Hubert here.
The more you know.
Dye your hair gray when you're 30. That way, by the time you're 50, everybody will say how great you look for your age. I got to give you a year, don't I?
Yeah.
Miles knows. All right, let's see. The text board knows. I got a couple of dissenting opinions, but for the most part, everybody's given the end of the 70s in some way, shape, or form here. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. You brought up the wheel. You're on your own.
Some kind of waffle with some sort of a Christmas tree pine in it or something.
I hate you.
I'm going to go 1979.
Yeah, it's 1979.
Woo-hoo!
That is correct. That is correct. That is correct.
That's the fact, Jack!
It's a trap!
You're so mad. All right. I don't know what we're talking about next, because my sheet says the same thing.
Hubert's
twice.
impending death.
So after AC/DC, I might be back with part 2 of the Radio Sensation Sweeping.
Sweeping.
7 the Bay, time for part 2 of the Radio Sensation Sweeping the Nation.
It's Huber in the mornings on this day on 100.7 The Bay.
7:18 a.m. Thursday, December 14th. So close to Christmas, 11 days out. On your mind is Santa, lights, gifts, entertaining, travel. I need you to take a minute. I need you to shake all that off. I need you to head into the summertime. I need you to picture the blue skies, the warm breeze, the green grass. It smells like coconut because you just put a little suntan lotion on to avoid a burn. Seals and Crofts.
You know why I did this?
Because it's just the greatest song of all time? I don't know.
You've just seen Super Stressed.
Yeah, this is like an audible Xanax.
The holidays are catching up to you, man. And I can see it in your eyes. I look across this board at you every day, and I can see the impending fear of the holiday season. And I feel like you're
so
veering too far into left lane life. And I think we need to bring it maybe 1, 2, maybe 3, depending on the highway, lanes to the right. And we just need to live that right lane life for just a 4-minute break.
You're so right. Could this be the official song of Right Lane Life?
It has to be, right?
I believe it is.
When I hear this song, it's like Earl Grey tea, sipping on it in a kitchen, with sunlight coming through the window, hitting my face, warming me like no other, like a cat baking in the noonday sun.
Oh my God, I love it.
It's like a Werther's original.
It is.
Melting in your mouth.
It is.
As you're listening to NPR.
It is breathtaking. All of a sudden, I feel like I'm in a patterned, like flowered button-down shirt that's like 3 buttons unbuttoned. I got shorts on, sandals. Oh, it feels so good.
It's like a warm hug from a turtleneck sweater.
It feels so good.
Do you like Seals and Crofts? Just do anything for you?
No.
So,
I mean, this does for what it does, but I'm never putting this on purpose.
So you're telling me on that pontoon boat that you and your hillbilly friends hang out on in the summer that this is not on the playlist? Summer Boys Jams?
All with a Z.
All Z's.
Now, if Seals was spelled S-E-A-L-Z, we might be getting somewhere.
I mean, has Seal ever done Summer Breeze?
God, why? I don't know why he hasn't.
He was too busy being married to Heidi Klum for all those years.
Are they both still rocking? Seals and Crofts? Are they still kicking, I wonder?
I don't know. You always ask these questions about death, and I don't know if they're alive.
I'm curious. I don't, you don't have to know. It is nice, though.
Have you been enjoying Right Lane Life?
It's feeling good. I feel like I'm slowing down a little bit as this goes on.
You're welcome. You called for the wheel, and I tried to do something nice, and this is just, this is the thanks I get. Seals and Croft Summer Breeze is certified gold on this day back in some year. So do you know what year?
Do you think it's a bit ironic or weird that this song went gold in December of whatever year it came out? You know what I mean?
It's so weird. It's like all the Halloween stuff that came out in November.
Yeah.
I'm like, who missed the boat?
I'm wondering, did this come out in August and just take this long to catch on? Or were people much like me living that left lane life and decided to you know what? We got to run Seals and Crofts back. I'm getting too deep in the game. Oh, God, listen to that.
In the evening on a Friday night.
Is Seals and Crofts like the Three Doors Down to their generation? I'm hearing a lot of Brad Arnold all of a sudden.
They can make one word go a long time. Listen to how long he says night. It's pretty insane. This is Huber in the morning. Are you allowed to stretch a word that long?
I mean, who's stopping you?
Crofts didn't stop in Seals, I can tell you that. Ready? Give a little.
See the curtains hanging in the window in the evening on a Friday night.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4-second night. That's a long night.
Or that's what we call date night at my house.
Yeah! You get some sort of a peach-scented candle out, dim the lights, tune in Seals and Crofts, and by the time he delivers that first line, you're blowing out the candle.
My holiday gift that keeps on giving.
That's right.
To Mrs. Campbell.
Would you ever put this on purpose?
So, as much of a rocker as my dad is, he has some sort of love for this song. So this song's been a part of my life forever. And I don't know, it's the same man that'll play Moby Dick on the drums.
Right.
And he'll tune this on and crank it up. I have no idea why.
Everybody's got a yin and a yang, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you get your yang out with Summer Breeze, yin comes right after it. This is great. I needed this today. You really are in tune with what I got going on, and I appreciate it.
We are one now here at Huber in the Morning.
Can we get like the Seals and Crofts album cover and put our faces on it? Anybody good at Photoshop want to do that? I'd appreciate it.
You need to give me a year.
And put like some blown out candle in the background just as a little Easter egg for anybody who heard this break. Kevin from Hamden really liked that line, by the way. The candle being blown out by the time we hit Friday night. Patty from Relay, Bobby in Westminster, and Krista in Essex are all agreeing on the year of our Lord. Miles would sound good in this, too. Oh, they're getting it here. They're getting it. All right. Let's hope that Randy can do it. Stephanie from Falston said this song has a vibe. She's not wrong.
Yeah. That's just you in a right lane with the heat on in the car, but you roll down your window just enough to get the
I do that a lot.
The perfect mixture.
That's right. That Werther's Original just getting nice and soft in your front right pocket.
Hey, you feel something tight in your pocket? You look in there, Necco wafers.
You haven't bought Necco wafers since 1972, but somehow they just appear when this song comes on.
They're just flatter Tums. Necco wafers. If you want to turn this ship around, ask Campbell at thebayonline.com. We'll make this happen for you.
All right, I got to go 1972.
1972, ready?
That is correct. That is correct. That is correct.
That's the fact, Jack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
I want you to put your hands together and welcome him to
Welcome
the
him
stage.
to the
Big round of applause
stage.
for Jackson Heights own Mr. Randy Watson. Yes!
That was just an homage to Seals and Crofts there.